So today we're going to focus on creating templates in Google Documents. I'm going to focus on creating templates that are used for newspaper projects, but basically the same skills I'm going to show you today can be applied to any kind of template. The first step is to include a table. You'll need to think about how many cells you would like to have in your table. You can always add to these or remove some later on. Notice you can also resize your table just by dragging. You might want to leave certain cells for headlines, and we can format those cells later on to be headline sections of your newspaper. You might want to format the entire table with certain settings. There's lots of different fonts that needs to choose from. You may want to also include a second column or a second row. Notice I've included a cell within that first cell and one above as well, which I'm going to use for my headline. The text styles will let you choose from different titles and heading formats for your text, and this might be useful, for example, for a headline or a subtitle in your newspaper. These can also be used for creating a table of contents, which we're not going to be doing today. I have selected the title option for my headline. So now when I type in that first cell, you can see that it has been formatted as a title. My text is much larger, easier to read, stands out a lot more. Next, I'm going to use that cell within the very first cell of the table to include a title for my first article. I'm going to choose subtitle from the list as my text format style. Once I type it in, you can see that it is now formatted in that particular style. If I move down to the next cell, I can use a tab to do that, or I can click on it. I can start writing my actual newspaper article below. There's quite a few other formatting options here. As you can see, you're probably familiar with most of these. I can change the color of my font, I can bold it, put it in italics, underline, I can highlight my text, I can align it left, right, up and down, put bullets in if I click on more. I can also increase or reduce the indent in that selection of text. You can also use the drop-down format menu in the toolbar at the top on the left of your document to open up some more of those formatting options for the text within your doc. Use the drop-down table menu to add additional rows or columns to your table, or to insert a brand new table into your document. I'm going to add an additional cell to my document to serve as another section of my newspaper template. I can drag it down, make it a little bit larger, but you can see that you run into some problems here now. Google Documents doesn't let you move things around at will. There's different options for your properties for your tables, but it's not like working within a presentation where you're then able to just drag and drop and move things around, which can make creating templates a little bit difficult within a document. I'm going to add a background color to my new cell, and I'm also going to format the line around the cell that I've just created and formatted. Just add a few different changes here and you'll see what we get. And there it is. An alternative way to add content to your document is to instead insert a drawing. You can choose from an array of shapes. You can add text boxes, images, and edit all of these within the drawing space. There's options to fill, there's options to change line styles. And you can also change the point size of your lines, make them a bit thicker. Once you've got that, you can also rotate it if you prefer, resize it using the handles, and again, fill it. Now, another option is to add an image to it if that's something you're into. For example, the logo for your newspaper. You do so by selecting Insert Image and then bringing the image in, importing it either as a snapshot, a URL from your albums, or as an upload from your computer. Now, I don't really want an image in my newspaper template at present, but that is one way you could if you wanted to add a logo. Another way is just to insert the image right into the Google document. So I'm going to add an additional shape to this to serve as a bit of a border around my initial shape. And I'll do so by selecting a rectangle and drawing it over the rectangle I've already created. I'm then going to use the right click. I'm going to change the order of the objects on the drawing canvas, sending one right to the back. Next, I can fill the one that's at the back with a different color to make it stand out, and I can adjust the width or the height using the handles. I save and close to insert it into the document, which is where it will stay. Now I can move this around, but before I'm able to do that, I'm going to have to use the Wrap Text option. This allows you to reposition shapes, pictures, and drawings on the page and wrap text around them. By clicking on my drawing, I can then reopen the drawing canvas and edit my object further. Then I save and close. Again, it inserts back into the drawing where I initially had it. You can further adjust your table by dragging the cell borders of your table into position. So now I have a few other options. I need to use this space properly. I can move my drawing around, make it longer, or add another column to my table. Do so by going to the table and insert column to the right. There's my new column. I can always resize it if I want to, and it also allows me to move my drawing around. So I'm going to actually shift the drawing down slightly, giving it more space. I've changed a few things now. So I've added a few more cells and drawings to my template, and now I'm just finishing off by extending one of the drawings down into, so it looks like a column that goes down the entire page. You'll notice there's also another drawing at the bottom which will serve as a text box for my template when we're done. And basically that's what the final product now looks like. That is my template within my Google document. If you'd like to learn more about using pre-made templates or submitting templates to the Google Template Gallery, watch our next video in the series, Part 2, which also covers how to create templates using Google Slides.